I am originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. I was born and raised there. Um, for the past 10 years, maybe 8 years, I've been making films primarily about Hawaii and just going back there, sort of mining my own personal experience of growing up in the islands. When I lived in Hawaii, I really didn't have that much interest in making films about Hawaii. It was only when I moved away and I had some perspective and really was looking at, my own experience and what I had to give to, to filmmaking or to cinema. And I started just writing these scripts about Hawaii. So I've done a bunch of short films. I made a documentary last year about and they're all personal films, sort of based on, details of my life, details of my family, very, lyrical films. And so I've been doing this for a while, and I made a film in 2012, which is called Obake, which means ghosts. It's a ghost story. It's more like a meditation on memory and about an old man in the countryside who's ill and he's dying and he's sort of surrounded by his ghosts. So I made that film and it did okay. Put it out there in the world. And I started thinking about how I could expand it into a feature film. And so this movie, I Was a Simple Man, is based on the short, but also based on, this documentary that I made about my family. I did a lot of interviews. I work as a documentary editor, so I edited a documentary about Japanese Buddhism. So it has a lot of spiritual, religious elements. But all these things sort of informed this piece, which is about an old man who's on his deathbed and he's sort of visited by his family members. And one by one, they take turns caring for him. And in the end, we see him ultimately pass away, but along the way, we get a sense of his life. So we go into the past, we go into
through
the future
perspectives of
other people.
Oh, that's great.
At him.
Okay.
So that's where I'm
So
at.
how did the experience make your process more concrete, let's say, or perhaps?
It's funny. I had constructed this film with this very sort of schematic structure that's broken up into 4 parts. Each part is a different family member visiting with him, and we get a glimpse into a different part of his life. So it's almost like 4 short films. And through the family member's eyes, we look at this man and we see him sort of in different ways. The lab process was interesting because I came to realize that I had constructed a film in which everyone is looking at this man, but we're never really in his head. And that I need to sort of get into his head and find that emotional core to sort of pull us through those 4 sections. We need to know who this man. And partially maybe because of my own emotional avoidance, I based it on my own grandfather. I had avoided it maybe for some reason. But now moving forward, I sort of have, maybe not a path yet, but a goal, and that is to strengthen this main character who's at the center of this family, and make him like, an emotional anchor.
Yeah. Final question: as you're writing this project for all of 2014, what are some of what films did you admire or like, or is there anything that pops into your mind?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite filmmaker is Yasujiro Ozu, so I really wanted to tell a light, sort of subtle family story.
Okay. So you just went crazy on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. I mean, I've loved him forever. He's always been a sort of artistic touchstone of mine. So
okay.
I always had him in mind for sure. I also love the films of Ho Xiaoshen.
Yeah.
And the way that he uses history and looks at history. So he's another one because this film has period elements in which we move out of the present to the past. I love the way that he does that.
Do you have a favorite Triple H film?
Jesus, it changes so much. They just did a retrospective at the Museum of the Moving Image.
Yeah.
Which is where I live.
Okay.
And I got to watch Café Lumière again, which I hadn't seen in probably like a decade.
Yeah.
And that film was like...
It's 1999,
I loved it.
It is a break away from his previous stuff, I
Sure.
think, to some extent.
And then the Puppet Master.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the